Hey guys, it's PJ
and Thomas,
and we are finally going to do our coming out video. So this is the next installment on our Get to Know Us series, and we're super excited about it.
Yeah, it's a topic that we've never fully discussed on any one of our platforms, really. So I think today it's gonna finally be one of those.
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
So let's get started. Okay, so to start off, I think we should do rock, paper, scissors, shoot to see who goes first. First person who wins goes first.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Cover me. Okay.
So I came out whenever I was 19 years old. The only reason really that I came out at the time was because of PJ, because of when we met. See, whenever I was younger, I never really thought that I was going to come out. It was just one of those things that I had accepted, that I was always just going to be in the closet. I was just too scared, I guess. Coming from a small southern town, there's not many other out gay people here to really look up to as role models for that. So it was just one of those things that I kind of accepted. So me and PJ got together in August of 2010, and I started coming out to my friends and family, I think about a month later. In September and October. The first person that I told was my friend Zach, and he took it pretty well. I think maybe he kind of knew, I don't know. And I told him over text messaging because I was too chicken to tell him in person. Then after that, I told my younger sister Sydney, who is also gay,
but wasn't out at the time.
Exactly, yeah, she was not out just yet. And I told her, and I was like, hey, I have to tell you something that may make you think differently of me, and this was over text. And she was like, Thomas, nothing that you tell me could ever make me feel differently about you. So I ended up telling her in person whenever I got home, and she took it fine. She said that she knew, which I found was kind of the same response that a lot of my family members had and some of my friends. And then I told my brother after that, and then I told my mom, and I told her, I think she had kind of been suspecting it for a little bit because I was keeping a lot of things from her, and I was always spending the night at my friend's house that I never used to do. And so we were laying in bed one night, and I told her, and I was like, Mom, I have to tell you something. And I just remember being so nervous. I had never been more nervous of anything in my entire life. And I told her that I was like, me and PJ are not just friends. And she was like, uh-huh. And I was like, we are actually together. And she was like, honey, I know. And I was like, what do you mean you know? What? And I was like, no, you didn't. I just told you right now for the first time. And she was like, honey, you're my son. I've known since you were 2. Mm-hmm. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I thought I was doing such a good job by hiding it, but apparently I wasn't. So, and then I told my older sister after that, and she was okay with it. I found out that all of my friends, with the exception of 1 or 2, were very okay with it. All of my friends and family took it really well. I think it's because maybe they knew the whole time. I don't know. So that was my coming out story. I found that... Oh, hi, Bean. Hi. She wants to hear too.
She's feeling a little self-conscious because she's gained a lot of weight.
Gained some weight. Pencil clip, baby. She doesn't know the cameras are here, so... So, I found that I did most of my coming out over text message, which is something that I kind of regret looking back on. I do kind of wish that I would have come out more in person. I told my family in person, but my friends I told mainly over text. And, it's...
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because I feel like these are things that, you guys are going to want to know. So first question is, did you always know that you were gay or bisexual or your sexual orientation?
Yes, I did always know that I was gay. I think I realized it whenever I was 5 or 6. I knew that I was not attracted to women, and I had my eyes on
the prize.
The guys.
Second question, did you, growing up, see yourself coming out? Did you ever think that you would, or did you think that you would always stay closeted?
I think that I always thought that I would stay closeted. I just couldn't picture a world where I was coming out and being okay with it. I wanted to so many times, but I just never thought, honestly, I never thought that was a possibility before PJ.
How has coming out affected your life?
So, coming out honestly changed my life. I always think of my life in terms of before I came out and after I came out. Like events, I always compare them to that timeline, because once you come out, it is like the biggest weight off of your shoulders. You feel completely free. You feel like you can finally be yourself, your true self. You're closer to the people that you care about because you're not hiding anything from them anymore. I mean, it's just it's the greatest feeling that I can think of describing, besides like falling in love. But it's just such I don't know, you can't explain it until you live through it, but it's scary. It was honestly probably the scariest thing I'd been through up until that point in my life. But once I did it, it was so worth it. And I think the main reason that I ended up coming out was because I knew at that time that I loved PJ so much, and I just wanted people to know that I was with him. I felt proud to be with him. I wanted people to know that I was with him. And so, sometimes meeting the right person can help you come out, because you can't imagine living in a world where you have to keep your love towards them a secret. What about yours?
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Growing up, from a very small child, I knew that I was gay. And I knew, in the back of my head, I knew that for some reason I had to keep it in, and that it wasn't okay to talk about it. And then struggled with it hardcore through middle school and high school. Yeah. More so middle school. High school at that point, I'd moved past it, but I think in middle school was when it was the biggest struggle for me. I remember scenarios in school. There was a guy who was openly gay in middle school, and I remember hearing the teachers talk about him. And that affects a kid so much, hearing family members and friends, and just growing up, you have all these situations where you've heard people you were close to say things about homosexual people, and it's such a devastating thing. One thing that I was really blessed with, though, is even though I'm in the South, and both of my parents are Southern at heart, I never one time heard either one of my parents say anything negative about gay people. Never. And that was a blessing, but even knowing that, it still was a struggle for me to accept that I was. At 14, I remember it so vividly. The MTV show, The Real World, had a show that came out, and it was The Real World New Orleans, and it had a gay Southern gentleman on it. I had such the biggest crush on him.
What was his name again?
His name was Danny Roberts. And it was the first time that I could actually relate to someone, because I'd never seen anyone or met anyone that was gay that I could relate to, that was a Southerner and had the same kind of traditions and background story as I did. At that point, I accepted the fact that I was, and I knew that I was, and I knew that, it was okay to be, and I was going to have tough times, but I knew that one day I was going to come out. And that was at 14. When I was 20, I auditioned for The Real World, and I did make it through a series of the casting. I found out the cast, and then I searched them and tried to find, because I always had the gay character, so I searched him out. We actually began talking somehow. I think it was through Facebook. Over a series of several months, after talking back and forth on Facebook, he was going to be driving through Chattanooga. So we met one day and got coffee, and he invited me to come down to Atlanta. Well, when that happened, it was we met during the week, and it was that coming weekend. So I was like, I can't go to Atlanta and not tell somebody where I'm going. So I went to my mom's house, sat on her couch in the living room, and got quiet and started crying, and told Mom that I wanted to talk to her about something, and she had absolutely no idea what I was going to say. And I came out to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm gay. She was accepting of it. I don't know, my mom never told me that she ever thought that I was. I don't see, as a kid, I did things that I tried to wear my mom's shoes all the time, and she caught me putting on her makeup before, and
Same.
My sister had these pink slip-on clear gel shoes that I would always put on, and my dad would always find me and yell at me and tell me to take those pink shoes off. And so I don't see how they wouldn't know that I was, but to my knowledge, she never told me that she knew, but to me it was pretty obvious. So I came out to my mom first, and I cried about it. Went to Atlanta, started hanging out with this guy. We kind of started talking. I wouldn't say that we were dating, but I would say that we were talking. And over the 2 or 3 months that we were talking, I began to become more comfortable with the fact that I was, and I wanted more people to know. So I came out to my mom first. The second person that I came out to was my cousin Lauren, because we're the same age basically, and we're in the same grade through school. She was always there to help me. She was really close to me. So I told my cousin Lauren after my mom, and then I told my aunt Lisa, and I cried to her too. And then I think after that I told my sister. After I told those people, it kind of just was a domino effect, because those people started telling people, and then it was pretty much family and friends knew that I was openly gay at that point. After it happened, it was a lot easier than what I expected it to be. Mm-hmm. Before I came out, I felt like it was just a fake representation of who I was, because I was portraying this person who wasn't really me. So I always struggled with that and had, I was depressed all the time because of it. I was living this like false life. And when I came out, I was finally getting to be my true self with everyone that I knew. So my relationship with those who mattered and really cared about me got stronger. So with my family and friends, my true friends, it got stronger. My friends that were not accepting of it, they just disappeared out of my life. But, it was a blessing, to be completely honest, because those people were not the people that I'd want in my life anyways. Overall, it was such a great experience, and looking back on it, I came out when I was 20. I don't necessarily think that I wish I came out earlier, because I think I came out at the right time for me. So yeah, that's it. That's my coming out story, and I don't regret a minute of it, because my life would not be what it is today had I not came out.
Exactly.
But that's our coming out stories.
Yes, and I think, we are just two coming out stories in a world filled with so many different types of stories, and every story, I think is beautiful because it belongs to that individual person, and no coming out story is the same, and I think that's what makes it so lovely. Coming out is something that you have to do on your own terms whenever you're ready. We both waited until we were, felt like we were ready and felt like we were safe, and it came from a good place of coming out. I wanted to come out because of PJ, and he came out because he felt that it was time. So yeah, so that was our coming out story. It is one of those things though that, while we did come out whenever we were 19 and 20, we are still constantly coming out every single time that we meet somebody.
Your story is your story. So
that's what makes it beautiful.
Exactly. It's completely different, and if you are struggling with trying to decide if now is the right time or not, it's completely one of those things that when it's right and it's time, you will know, and it will happen, and it will be, for some people it was a struggle, and for some people they lost family members and friends, but the one true thing that I've heard from every single person that has came out is it does get better. And it is one of those things that you may come out and have some regret that you did, because you may have things that happen, but you've got to get past that to get to the good part of it, which is,
you're living your true, authentic self.
Which is the most important. So that concludes our coming out stories. We hope that you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about our coming out story, or if you're struggling with it and need just guidance, feel free to either comment down below or send us a direct message on our Instagram account at PJ and Thomas. We would love to help you guys out. I know it is a tough time.
But we've been through it. That's the thing. We know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah. Give us a like if you like this video. If you want to see something else, let us know down below. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do. Until next time, this concludes our Get to Know Us series of Our Coming Out Story.
Bye, guys.